Now that I've finalized the exterior wall definition, I can start to draw the exterior walls. Now, although you place multilines in the same way as regular lines, one thing is slightly different with this particular definition. In this case, the exterior wall is not symmetrical about the work line, so the multiline will be placed differently depending on which way I drag the line. Let me show you what I mean. My definition is set, the Place Multiline tool is on, work line is set to, and I click and I drag. Now if I drag in this direction, notice that the brick is on the upper part of the view and the block is on the lower part of the view. If I drag in this direction, that reverses. The block is now at the upper part of the view, the brick is at the lower part of the view. So it does make a difference which way you are dragging the line if the definition is not symmetrical. Now I've given you a starting point of the top right corner for this building, meaning that you would work from the top right corner in a counterclockwise direction. So let me do that for you right now. Let me start placing these walls. First wall is 60 foot long, 60. Left click, drag down. Next part of the wall is 35, 35. Notice I've given you some very simple dimensions. Next part is 42. Next leg is 15. Horizontal leg is 18. And that should bring us back to the starting point. Now I have two options. I can snap to the end point of this line, but that will leave me with an unfinished joint, which I'll have to edit later. So it's far easier to use the Close Element option on the Tool Settings window. So click on Close Element, and my element is closed and the lines are neatly edited. Just remember again that this is not a closed element. Now the next step is to create the definition for the interior walls, and I'll do this from the existing exterior wall. So click on the icon here for the multiline styles. That opens up the styles box. And I'm going to edit the current definition. Let me zoom into the definition. Move this along a little bit. There we go. There's the definition for the interior wall. We have a 4-inch stud and a layer of drywall or sheetrock on either side of the stud. I have a center line, but the center line will be a construction element, so it can be turned off if necessary. Let's go straight in and change the existing definition. 0, 0 now becomes a center line, and I will choose naturally a custom line for this, and I'll choose the center line, obviously, for the custom line styles. The line style scale immediately pops into place, and I happen to know that it should be 0.5. But of course, as with any custom line style, you would need to experiment with the most appropriate line type scale. Next, let's change the offsets. We'll start with this one, and we'll make this one the plus 2 1/4. So that's 2.25, enter, 2 1/4. We'll change this one to the negative 2 1/4, 2.25. And this one, I'll make the negative 1 3/4. And we short a line. We need the positive 1 3/4. So need to insert a line. This one will be positive 1.75. There we go. That's good. I need to change this information too, of course. Level should be inner wall. Color will be white. Line style will be 0. Weight will be 0. Weight of this one will be 0. And back to these. These will now be inner walls. Inner wall. Inner wall. And inner wall. And my center line will be a 0. And one last thing, change that to primary. There we are. There's the finished definition. We can now get rid of that. Go back to our drawing. And we can draw our interior walls. Make sure the tool's running. We're working by the work line. we need to change the level to inner wall. Let's start at this top corner here. We are going to place the compass at the outer block wall junction. So we need to F11 and O, place the compass, drag in this direction, and we need 20 feet. There's 20, there's my junction, left click, and we drag. And I'm dragging all the way down. I'm going to zoom into the bottom here. Now, I don't need to concern myself as to where this should stop exactly, because I'm going to heal this junction later on. So for the moment, I can simply drop it there, and that will be fine. And as you'll see, we'll use other tools to heal this junction. Next one, we'll start here, F11, O key, place the compass, and we're going up 20 feet. There's my inner wall. Now this is going to form a T-junction here, but again I don't really care where it goes, so I'll stop it there. Notice that this one starts inside the wall, this one finishes away from the wall, this one finishes away from the wall, but this one starts inside the wall. Again, all this is relatively unimportant at the moment. Next one is the vertical one here at 9 feet, so we need to go here, F11 and O, run across here by 9 feet. Here comes my wall, take that up, stop it short somewhere about there. Now the next line, or the last line, actually runs from there to there. But if you look carefully at your drawing, you'll see that we have to get the outer edge of the multi-line flush with the inner face of the block. No problem. Change the work line to the maximum. Now we zoom into here, we snap to that point and drag across, and you'll notice that the outer edge of the drywall is flush with the block wall. Drop it there. And that's that. We have all the walls in place. Except that you'll probably notice that I haven't extended this wall across to this wall in my haste to show you the connection at the corner. No problem. We'll use the extend tool, select the line, just drag it across. Fairly close. That'll do. Now, you should be catching up with this, and your drawing should look like mine as we move into the next video where we'll start editing those wall junctions.